Guys, Chris the Atari Creep here. Just want to do a midweek video, midweek Thursday, whatever. I'm not sure if I'm going to have one up this weekend or not, but I wanted to just give you a little update on the page and where things are going, and but I also wanted to post this video to let you know that I said goodbye to a dear friend of mine, someone I've known since 1982. We had that retro night and it was awesome. We plan on doing another one, and I found out that very night that my Sears Tele-Games Video Arcade is no longer functional. It does still produce video, and there's probably a chance I can get inside of it and get it working, but it might be time just to let the old girl seek greener pastures. This is the very system I started on. My parents brought it home to me in 1982. More than likely because they had a Sears card. I know my parents couldn't afford the system brand new. So more than likely that's why they got the Sears version. And ever since, this has been my nostalgic video game unit. Most people talk Nintendo when I talk retro gaming. I talk Atari and Genesis. Not for any other reason than that's what I had. And that's what I grew up playing. But yeah, I mean, this kind of ends an era for the Atari Creep. Not that I can't get another one, but it's just sad that this one in particular has split its mortal coil and will no longer be with us. For you tech geeks out there, what it's actually doing is it's producing video and you can still play some of the games, but something internally is constantly pressing the action or fire button, however you want to call it, from the joystick on at all times. I tried it out with the number of joysticks I have. And it just seems to be the games that start with the fire button start automatically, and games that use the fire button, it won't work. So it's as if the machine thinks the fire button is constantly depressed. So I really don't know what I'm going to do about that, but needless to say, it's a sad day in the Creep Farms world, and it'll be missed deeply. And not to be a little melodramatic about it, but a little Irish prayer. I'm an Irish guy from Boston originally. They have a funeral prayer, and at the end it says, "How we will laugh at the sorrows of parting when we meet again." Now, with that said, I figure I'd give you a little history on my early days of video gaming. Nothing too in-depth, just where I started. Yes, it was a Sears Tele-Games, and I believe the game it came packed with was Pac-Man. We also had Space Invaders, and shortly thereafter I was donned with a copy of E.T., which I was super excited about and got frustrated about instantly playing it. And we will discuss that more in depth. Other games I had Astro Smash, which was an M Network game, which is basically just an Intellivision game made to fit into an Atari. And I also had a copy of Journey Escape. And I played the hell out of those. Now I had a buddy who had a couple of Ataris. He had a Sega Master System, a Coleco, and an Atom system. And I would go there to do most of my gaming. It wasn't really gaming back then. Whenever you played a video game back then, it was, hey, let's play Atari. Didn't matter what system it was. And then, of course, that translated back into let's play Nintendo a few years later, which I did own one. But those were the first games. E.T. We'll do a whole nother thing on that one, because I want to do an introduction to my new series, Games Worse Than E.T., which will be coming up. But with this out of commission, it might be a little slower. I have all the games that I do physically own, wherever, emulated, as well as many, many more. I prefer not to do that, but if I have to, I will, just to get the show going. But let's talk a little bit about Pac-Man. Everyone bags on Pac-Man as well. Now, it's not a great port of the game. Yes, it has many flaws that you all know about. We don't have to go into that. But just something about it. Maybe because I was a really young kid when I got it, I didn't really have, I didn't have much expectation as far as a home port goes, because I knew you couldn't do the same as the arcade. So I was okay with it. Maybe I was at the right age. But now playing it, whenever I hear that doo-doo-doo-doo, and those horrible gung-gung-gung-gung as you're mazing through the damn thing, it brings back my childhood, and it's a good feeling. Honestly, there's not a lot of really great feelings from my childhood. Not that I want to have a therapy session with you guys, but that is one of them. And I remember my sister playing the hell out of it, and we had rumors of her flipping over the score from 99999 back to 0, and which never really happened, I don't think. But she played the hell out of it. I was more of a Missile Command, Space Invaders, and I played a lot of that Astro Smash, even though it's unplayable now. Which may be one of the episodes coming up. But yeah, I loved it. I got the E.T. game for Christmas that year when it came out, and I was all excited. I saw E.T.'s face, and I was like, yeah, E.T., because, you know, I was 7, and it was new, and I was all about it, and now I really can't stand the movie, but again, I don't think that's the worst video game of all time either, and that's what my new series is going to set out to prove. But yeah, that was my very, very first days of gaming. I mean, just that handful of cartridges. Now, my friends had the Yars Revenges and Kaboom, which those are my 2 favorite on the system. Not to give a spoiler on if I were to do my top 5, but those 2 would be right there, 1 and 2, whichever way you want to put them, whatever way I'm feeling that day, I make that video. Many nights sitting on my buddy's couch in his basement playing Kaboom. And we would play for hours till the early morning and just wrench on that paddle. And yeah, I can't say enough good things about Kaboom. If you've never played Kaboom with the actual paddle, you have to. If you were to buy a 2600 or 7800, which we'll play them, for any reason whatsoever, Kaboom's got to be it. You get that, you get yourself a good pair of paddles, which generally work well. If not, there's 100 videos on how to make them work well. It's not that hard, and just play that game. I mean, that's worth a 2600 right there in itself. But gentlemen and ladies, that's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to do is just say farewell to a good buddy of mine. Again, not to be melodramatic, but this old girl here has seen me through a lot of thick and thin, and she'll be greatly missed. So let's do a little close-up of her sexiness. Look at that burl wood. That's better than that wood grain stuff on the irregular heavy sixers. No, this is not a heavy sixer. This is a import one. But there she is. All her switches and everything work. So hopefully I can get it going again, but that's not going to be high priority. So guys, with that, I hope everyone's doing well. And I should have some more videos here, more relevant to gaming itself, very soon. And that's it. I can't wait to see you guys in the next video. If you haven't yet, please, subscribe. Give me some feedback down below on this video, as boring as it may have been. Thumbs up, thumbs down. As I always say, all feedback is positive. And, well, until then, the Atari Creep saying, bye-bye.